segues into Manny Pacquiao's old promoter, which is Terrence Crawford's current promoter, Bob Arum.
Sure, top rank.
Top rank. So I'm laughing
This
right now.
This is gonna be a fun conversation. This part because we talked about it earlier, and this was fun then.
Okay, I sent you a voice note on the phone because I was looking at every single angle of the Crawford Manny Pacquiao fight off the rip. I was on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm looking everywhere, right? And one thing that I've noticed is that Teofimo Lopez next fight is on June 5th, tentatively. I'm going to keep repeating this here. I have an episode where I said Teofimo gets the bag. We do.
Episode 16 or 17, folks. Check one of those. It will highlight the headline. Teofimo gets the bag.
I might put that on here for when I do the editing of this show here, so that you can
put it as reference.
Yeah, we're going to have that here. So, I'm not going to go back on the backstory here because we got the episode we talked about it in the last episode. So, tentatively though, Teofimo Lopez has his fight on June 5th. He went through the mandatory process. Bob Arum didn't want to pay the money for it. And then next, Thriller came out of left field. We talked about it and threw this astronomical number.
Astronomical by mandatory numbers.
Yeah, for a guy of Teofimo status who is a good fighter, but it's like, wow, right? So let me level set here, Jorge. The past week and a half, Teofimo Lopez and his dad has been saying a whole bunch of stuff. And here's the thing, it's boxing, right? So guys are going to talk to promote themselves. The louder, the better. They're being boisterous, and one thing about boxing, sometimes they say things that doesn't make any goddamn sense, right?
Put your foot in your mouth.
Put your foot in your mouth. Thank you, Jorge. So they were going out, one of the things that we're not fighting on pay-per-view anymore. This is Teofimo Lopez Sr. Bob Arum's got to show us the money. We are not doing pay-per-view. We're doing pay-per-view only. Like basically saying that since Thriller threw this bag at us and we're getting our biggest payday for our mandatory, Thriller is going to do what they can do with Tyson and Roy Jones, that we're going to be like Floyd Mayweather. We're going to be like Manny Pacquiao. We're going to be fighting only on pay-per-view. Bob Arum, do your goddamn job. Get us our money because we're worth it. They're talking big time here, right? I get it. You're getting what? $3 million for this fight, at least, it was $6 million, but because of the purse split, this is his biggest cut.
Sure.
Then his dad came out saying that they're fighting this fight, as far as trying to get their money and do right by them. It's the same thing as when Ali went through his problems in the 70s with the government and stuff like that. I'm going to say this here. STFU, shut the fuck up, Teofimo Lopez Sr. You do not compare your business aspect, what Ali was dealing with when it comes to political actions for a black man who was dealing with crap like that. I understand trying to make an analogy. Don't make an analogy for business or someone who's going through racist problems, in this country from a black man. I get it. You're trying to blow your spot up, but shut the fuck up.
That's your PSA from David Jordan.
I don't curse that much. I try not to, but that threw me off. Don't compare yourself to any political or racist movement when it comes to business. That's anybody. Don't do that, because there's going to be people like me. It's like, you don't know what the hell is going through with that person to deal with that. If you compare a business situation where or someone has went through problems, that's a whole different ball game. Like Tyson just hindered himself, but you can use an analogy how Don King did bogus by him and tons of fighters. Find an analogy where Don King screwed over boxers. Like that instant. Do not bring race or politics into your business aspect for you getting your biggest payday.
So
I just had to say that before we get for it. But go
for
ahead.
David's point there, basically it's the same thing. It's the same rule in politics. I think you don't bring up the Holocaust in any way to some sort of issue. I think that's you're going overboard.
Don't bring slavery.
And when it comes to boxing, you do the same thing.
Yeah,
there's certain things you don't bring up because there's always historical context that basically that precedes it basically, and you don't want, and it sets the precedent, and you don't want to essentially invoke those prior precedents from the sports perspective and bring that into your own business, because at the end of the day you sound foolish.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that to say, don't do that. Don't do it. Like you're gonna find people like me. It's like, nah. Because here's the thing. I know boxers what they're trying to do. Boxers, They love their fans. When you meet them, they are so nice, and you can have conversation with them for hours and hours, right? And I understand by being in the boxing arena, you got to do things out of the ordinary to get yourself that appeal, that fanfare, that pop culture type of thing, like what Ryan Garcia is doing. He has the young appeal, being with the younger audience, things of that nature. But here's the thing, I say this too. Teofimo Lopez Sr. said that. Lopez Jr. co-signed it by allowing his dad to talk like that. Here's the thing here. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you have boxers who have trainer dads, what these fighters do is they let their dad be the mouthpiece. Let them do all the talking. Let them do all the stuff so that you can look like the good guy. That's just my dad. My dad's being my dad. But you know what, though? You give your dad the green light. So when situations like these happen, I'm not saying this one, we're not saying it, but it could have been his dad in his own feelings, and saying these things he's saying, right? But you're giving the green light, so we don't know if you actually feel this way or both of y'all feel this way. Either way, both of y'all saying this. So Teofimo, check your dad. Just like I say about Danny Garcia. When his dad was talking reckless, he had to check him too, because he was talking crazy mess too. So I just saying that, there's a way to promote yourself without being a damn idiot. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, exactly. No, either know your history before you say something. And look, if your dad's look, I'm close with my dad as well.
Yeah.
And
everybody knows how close I am with my pops.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, they're your best representative of who you are and stuff. They're also your PR team.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, don't say anything until you've run it by you, Junior. And
if it doesn't run it by you, I'm thinking that you're okay with that, because he gave his dad the green light to talk whenever he wants to talk. So if you give your dad the green light, it's two things. Yep. You're having your own little pillow talk of your pops, and you say, "Hey, Dad, I want you to say this because I can't say it, and everybody be cool if you saying it because it's just you." Or, hey, you just being you, Pop. Either way, you're cool with it. If you're cool with it, it's freaking wrong. I say that to say, this whole week and a half, the Lopez team has been talking grizzly, talking crazy. They even said they don't need Top Rank anymore. They're ready to move on. They're going all this stuff here, right? And I bring this up to say, Jorge, because when Bob Arum we're close to the finish line with Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford, June 5th. Lopez, who, if you're going to do a pay-per-view on June 5th with Thriller, you are not now.
You're not winning. You're not winning that pay-per-view match. You can see Pac-Man, Crawford here, Lopez, and a mandatory. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm telling you, as a boxing fan, I'm not buying it. I probably end up buying it because I have to cover it. But if you think you're going to make that money that you think you're supposed to make at the back end, no.
I may not. Because we're covered. I may not buy it. What I would do probably, if you did the same thing, I'm watching Manny, Terence Crawford, and I will go on the dark web and find a bootleg stream on this one. I am not going to lie on this one. I will find the bootleg stream after the fact. I am not paying for this fight here if it's going to be on the same day. I brought this up, Jorge, because I was saying that it's a business move and Bob Arum being petty. And I know you originally said that I don't think it's him being petty, but from my standpoint, I was saying petty because we've been seeing Thriller and the Lopez team talking, Lopez team talking grizzly about Bob Arum, and then Thriller's like, we're doing June 5th, we're gonna have Justin Bieber performing, it's gonna be a big bonanza, we're gonna set this up because Jake Paul got his pay-per-view in April, so we're gonna blow this out. So Bob Arum probably in Top Rank is like, yo, man, this is one of our top guys. We've been promoting, we put millions in ESPN advertising. We didn't pay for the mandatory. He got paid. Cool. We got $800,000 out of it. Nice. So now you got your check, and now you want to talk all this mess here? You know what, though? Here's the thing. This was gambling. Everybody wins every now and then, but the house always wins. So you know what? Arum says, I'm taking June 5th. I'm taking this date now. So you know, though, you're not going to be able to fight on June 5th. You got your money. Cool. Try to fight on June 12th or 19th. Oh, you can't. You know why? Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury pay-per-view is coming up. You might got to go to June 26th now. Oh, there's other fights coming up. You might have to fight in July possibly here. Now, because of Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, your fight's going to get moved. That means that the schedule's going to get moved. No, that means that's another pay-per-view in the summertime, which means that there's going to be people who cannot buy every single pay-per-view like us. They can only afford one pay-per-view for a certain period of time. So you're losing pay-per-view buys, and your schedule's getting moved down the line now, and it's going to kill your schedule for the rest of the year. And Bob Arum is the house. He's been promoting for 70 years. You cannot go on this diatribe thinking that you're better than him and know the business better than him. You're going to win every once in a while. The house always wins in the end.
I actually take it a little bit different here, a different analogy. I look at if anybody who's watched high stakes poker, I'm a Texas Hold'em guy. I play that game mostly. Most of us who who know poker know it through Texas Hold'em, but know it through Doyle Brunson. Anybody who's watched high stakes poker, any past shows and stuff, understands exactly what the hell he did. Bob Arum pulled off a Doyle Brunson. He went all in on a youngster, that youngster being Triller in this case, and said, okay, all right, I'm going all in here. $2 million. What you got on what you got on me now? You're gonna fold that hand? If you're right, you're gonna fold that hand. You don't know what the hell I got. Except in this case, you know what Arum's got. Pocket aces. Crawford and Pac-Man. And that's exactly what you're dealing with, Triller. Pocket aces.
And here's the thing, too. I didn't cut you off. Thriller doesn't have a beef with Top Rank or Top Rank with Thriller. Even Arum said that, hey, exactly. They're going to enhance us. But the thing is still that Lopez and his dad pulled Thriller into some money drama that did not need to happen. Yep. You got paid. They put $6,018,000 on the purse bid, 2.1 on Top Rank, and $3 million on Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. $3 million more than Matchroom. You got paid. Train, work with Thriller, get this money, promote the fight, boom, on to the next. You don't got to go on and saying, man, we don't need Bob Arum anymore.
That was a big mistake.
We don't need a promoter. We can do this on our own. We making money now. We're only fighting on pay-per-view. What's this? No, we ain't fighting regular ESPN now. Forget this mess. And you know what Bob Arum said? You got a contract with me. Okay. If you have the money to buy out your contract, we can negotiate that because Arum has buyouts on all his contracts. Yep. The biggest buyout that we've mentioned before, and there's a grandiose story that made Floyd Mayweather the way he was, because working with Al Heyman, then secured the $700,000 buyout. Most guys don't got 700 G's. That's why you link up Al Heyman. Al Heyman had deep pockets. I'm gonna represent you. You know, we'll put this money up, pay me back in installments. We're gonna get this bag together. I think if you look at Arum, he has every contract like that. 700,000 in 2005. Can you imagine? That's 16 years ago. You know the contract would look like for Lopez now in that same scenario when he's only 23 and Floyd was already with Top Rank for 2005, 9 years.
It was $700,000 buyout. Then you imagine the buyout's got to be somewhere about $1 million.
And here's the thing too: Floyd was already with Top Rank for 9 years. So we're looking at a young Teofimo. I bet you it's a de-escalator. You know, as in the de-escalator as far as the buyout. Like, of course, if he got in like a couple years ago, it probably like $2 million because, you know, you're putting so much into the fighter. They have the Skypes and per diems that they take care of them. So something's going on.
The length of his contract will make a difference.
Yeah, the length too.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. So, you know, depending on the length and the per diems when you're getting started, things of that nature.
Sure.
And then with Floyd, though, of course, like, yo, he's this great fighter here. At this point, it's going to be $700,000. I'm making this much money out of it. I bet, like you said, probably 1.2 million easily.
I'd say the closer he gets to the end of that contract, it probably gets a little bit like you're saying de-escalators, maybe around 900,000, 800,000 by that point. But right now, it's an easy million.
Yeah, easily.
Easy million. So at the end of the day, why you would burn the bridge with a basically, and in some degree, boxing royalty still. Bob Arum's been in boxing for a long ass time.
He just 89, 90. He just had a birthday.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're saying the wrong things and doing the wrong things. If you want to complain about Bob Arum for other things in terms of fights you're not getting, or
he skimmed your purse, like Don King stuff that we've known. Like,
exactly.
I looked at my contract and I got charged for freaking towels at the MGM Grand. Like, you know, that's famous. $50,000 per towel. Mike Tyson was getting gypped out of his purses.
Exactly.
You know, Don King skimming every little thing. You know, that's the hotel's towels. You know what I'm saying? But you're young. Your team is young. You're 23. You're a new champion. Bob Arum has been doing this. We talk about since the 60s and the 70s, before we were even thoughts, Jorge, before your mom and dad, my mom and dad even thought about us. Mm-hmm. Bob Arum was out here promoting fights with Ali, out here with George Foreman, out here with every major fighter from that era. You don't think that you're going to win. You got money. You came up on top with a big mandatory. Bob Arum is the fucking house.
Yeah.
So he has more than one fighter. Terrence Crawford is above, you know, his contract's coming up. He is above the ladder than you. He, you know, as far as like, I got stable fighters who I've been promoting. ESPN put more money in Terrence Crawford than they did Teofimo Lopez. He knows a lot of millions in both of them.
Yep.
Who is going to win the battle? Manny Pacquiao or Lopez? No, you're not going to win a pay-per-view against Manny Pacquiao. So you talk all this mess, you put yourself on a pedestal, and now there's an opportunity. Oh, here's what I want to add too. You're saying you want to fight only on pay-per-view? That's not going to happen when this is going to go now. This pay-per-view is going to tank at this rank here because you can't stay on June 5th now. Pay-per-view model of the business says that normally you see no more than 2 pay-per-views. And normally that's allowed when you have like a UFC against a boxing. You see very little 2 boxing pay-per-views at the same time. You're not going to get 3. You know, the pay-per-view industry gets 50% of all revenue from that off the rip. They're not going to kill their money by throwing a whole bunch of pay-per-views where people are not going to, if there's too many pay-per-views, people ain't going to order.
Yep.
You know, it's like, oh, I'll just wait on that. No, there's too many of them out there. So like I said, June 5th is going to be out the door for him because Manny Pacquiao is going to do Terence Crawford. I say 600,000-700,000 pay-per-view buys at the minimum.
Yep.
Manny Pacquiao still has a name that can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars of pay-per-view buys. Not the million, but with ESPN now, this could be a million because ESPN has that platform. They have 5 channels. They got ESPN Plus.
Mhm.
So they got that thing that's going to be out there and pushing out. And what do you do, Lopez? You want to just keep poking the bear? Poking the bear?
Yeah, no, you're doing business the wrong way and stuff. And look, I mean, in the summer, typically August typically is like a vacation month for a lot of the boxing community and stuff like that. Though, so why? Because September comes up, right? And you got the Mexican Independence weekend on September. It's going to be Canelo's fighting that September, so you are stuck in between a rock and a hard place for your June, your July, because honestly, if you try to do something in August, you're not going to make any money there either. So you basically by burning you're not completely burned the bridge because you still got the contract with Arum and stuff, but you're lighting it up though.
Yeah,
and I don't know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
So my suggestion to you, the Teofimo fam, would be get this fight in with Triller, and once you're done, make nice until the contract's up, or buy it out.
Yeah,
right. Either buy out or make nice until the end of the contract.
That's why I brought the Floyd thing, because if you're gonna go this ham, I hope you got the money just to buy it out and don't do this, because now I said that I brought this up because this parallels similar, but not from the attitude standpoint of Terence Crawford. He had his first pay-per-view several years ago, and it wasn't a mandatory. It was a unification fight. I believe it was against Victor Posto. You know, so it was, this was leading up to him becoming the undisputed junior welterweight champion. Yep. Yeah, that was a 2-belt unification. It didn't even do 100,000 pay-per-view buys. I think it was around the 94, 95,000 mark. And you know what happened after that? Terence Crawford has not even sniffed a pay-per-view until this Manny fight's being talked here. There's been talks of him going on pay-per-view since he can't sell. It's always been regular ESPN. So this is going to be his first pay-per-view, knowing the factors involved. And if it don't sell, you can't talk about pay-per-view unless you get another A side like Crawford's going to get Manny. It's what's going to happen. You need another A side. You're going to need Gervonta Davis for a pay-per-view. But you're going to need that. You're not going to be able to fight any other guy on pay-per-view. You're going to need Ryan Garcia for a pay-per-view. He may not be the A side, but he's a side that's going to bring. Matter of fact, he would be an A side to a degree, a 1A, 1B. Because the type of crowd he brings is different from Lopez. They're both in that same plane, 1A, 1B. I'm saying that he would need another A side. You can't fight everybody. You're not Floyd. You're not Manny. You're not a guy who can just go on pay-per-view. Exactly. You're not connected. If Canelo was in the zone, he'd fight on pay-per-view.
The boxing landscape itself is the writings on the wall on the boxing landscape. I already told you. The zone's doing everything through streaming. ESPN's doing everything through streaming.
And pay-per-view.
And pay-per-view, but mostly streaming on ESPN. So most of the pay-per-view model outside of Showtime, HBO's out the game. Showtime is the only
one. ESPN too, because Bob Arum's been on the record though. He's saying that that's what ESPN Plus is for too as well.
Yeah,
it's huge. They know that there's certain fights that you just cannot do streaming because the numbers are too astronomical. So you're right, yes, but at the same time though, there's going to be fights where that it has to have the pay-per-view model. It's never going to go away.
Yeah,
Bob Arum's even said that too. Like I said, streaming for the zone, yes. ESPN is using both.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a reason for that, because the pay-per-views were too expensive, and there weren't many quality fighters to put together to make pay-per-view fights.
Yeah.
It's still that case to this day, but with that said, you don't burn the bridge with a guy like Bob Arum because he's been doing it for so long. And even to the point where Floyd bought out the contract, and you still have to work with Bob Arum at some point down the road. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, because as soon as Floyd bought the contract out, correct me if I'm wrong on history, I think he did the Gotti fight.
Yeah.
That was with Main Events, and after the Gotti fight, Bob Arum had called about fighting Antonio Margarito, which exactly. So like, even though that you're no longer working, like there's only so many players in the game. So even if you have a bad falling out, you're gonna work with them again. Like we said with Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar and Arum have been contentious for the last 3 decades. They still come back together because they know that it's business and there's not many players. So for Lopez, I don't get it. I'm just gonna say it. I know there's a little pause there. I don't get what you and your dad are doing. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. I understand you promoting yourself. The way you're doing it sucks.
So there's a better way to do it And I'll be honest. I'll say it for Teofimo, and I'll say it for the other guys out there, the other younger fighters. Do it with a little bit more class, just a little bit more class. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not saying change your whole personality. No, be who you are, but at the same time, just a little bit more class. And that involves you, your fam, your whoever's representing you, whoever's your mouthpiece, whoever's speaking for you, just a little bit more class. And have a little more sense of history and some respect out there, okay? Yeah. Appreciate what's out there. And Bob Arum, whether you like him or not, he's history. He's royalty in the boxing world. He's history.
And no matter how you think about it, you might think he may got, I'm not trying to be, insensitive. He's about 89, 90 years old. He's working on borrowed time. If you're going to be an idiot, I know if you're going to be, he's going to die anytime soon, right? Top Rank is an establishment. ESPN did not get into boxing business for no reason at all. ESPN was out of the boxing business for so long before HBO had the little thing they're falling out. And who jumped on the ESPN bandwagon? Arum jumped off HBO before that actually happened. Yep. And ESPN recognized we're spending all this money on these rights to football. We make money, but what makes more money? Boxing rights make so much money and we don't got to put too much into it. There's a reason why ESPN has poured millions into it and working with Bob Arum. Bob Arum and Top Rank is an institution. You can say all you will want, but I hope you got money to buy this bad boy out, or you're just selling you're selling yourself short right now. There's so much. Here's the thing: there's ways to promote yourself. Why people I might get backlash on that. Why bite the hand that feeds you? It is a hand that feeds you because you got a contract. Exactly. If you do not buy his contract out, it's going to be a lot of, and here's the thing, Bob Arum did a whole bunch of characters in the past. This ain't the first boxer that's been pissed off at him, but you got to come back after this fight. You got to come back home. You can curse out your mom. It's like, Dad, I don't remember you kids. I don't want to live here. I'm going to run away, blah, blah, blah. And then you get outside, you realize, I got to go back home and get some more things. Yep. No. What am I going to do? Yo, man, Daddy's right there waiting for you. The house always wins. That's my point. The house always, you can get a win. The house is going to get you back in and get that money back and then get you into that where you're in the hole.
Most of the fighters that speak a little bit more soft-spoken on this stuff with Top Rank and Bob Arum and stuff, look, the great thing happens with this. You got a guy like Miguel Cotto, he wins. He says, we'll look into it. We'll talk with our promoter. Let the promoter handle your business.
Well, not even that point. I actually didn't say talking about promoter. They're just being egregious. There's a difference. There's a difference. We're saying that someone asks you a question, and Cotto says, we've seen that a lot of fighters in the ring. It's like when it's like, who you want to fight next? I'm just a fighter. My promoter gets these fights done. You talk to Bob Arum, and then we'll go from there. That's one thing. Someone asks you a question. It's another thing when you're volunteering. We're leaving. We're going on pay-per-view. F Top Rank. They can't do nothing for us anymore. We're the takeover. Believe in yourself. Now you can believe in yourself. This ain't the takeover when you were locked in the contract, and then Bob Arum just basically said, I'm being petty. June 5th, though, I even made $800,000 off of you doing this here, and I'm going to push your ass back. Exactly. People may not see it that way, but that's how I saw it when I hit you up. I'm like, people ain't talking about this here, but Arum took June 5th away from Lopez, and now it's going to push you down. Keep talking mess. You may not even fight till August. And then this might be your last fight for the year.
Yeah, no point in being a line stepper, right? Don't be a habitual line stepper. Quote Charlie Murphy, my friend.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Never be a line stepper in that case. Follow the contract, be done with it after that.
I wanted to bring that up because shout out to the Lopez family. You're doing good stuff. You're a good young fighter. I'm happy you're in the sport, doing your thing. You get this mandatory out the way. Hopefully we'll see you against a Devin Haney or Javante Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia, one of those three guys, or even all three of those guys in the next year and a half, 2 years. I hope I see that. But as a fight fan, I'm telling you guys, y'all going about it the wrong way, and y'all need to figure this out because y'all gonna be buried on regular ESPN. You're gonna get paid, but you're not gonna be looking at. You're gonna get a humble pie the way you're going here. And now if you was like Terrence Crawford and this is your last fight in October. Oh, I can see why you're talking to you. You're getting it out there to the highest bidder. Yo, holla at us, baby. We moving on. But man, you only 23. Your contract's locked, sealed, and delivered. Yep. That's what I want to talk about. Yo, Bob Arum just said, hey, June 5th is mine now. Shut up. Sit down.
Humble pie.
Humble pie, man.
Delicious humble pie. Enjoy it, folks.
Yo, listen. We know what though. We're gonna